Hello, Ambika madam.
Yes, sir.
Madam, guest has not joined yet.
No, he has joined, sir. The last email ID VCMNLU.
Okay. Should we begin?
Sir,
Yes,
we are.
please, we should begin now. No, we should begin it. We are getting late.
Yes, sir.
Madam, please begin.
Krishita?
Yes, ma'am, I'm starting. The challenge is education. If people know what their rights are, they will be protected. If they don't, they will be exploited. Good afternoon to our respected dignitaries, faculty members, and my dear friends. This is Krishita Kachawa, and I welcome you all to our university. Pal University have been established as Pal Group of Institute in 1993 and received the status of university in the year 2015. We are proud to claim that it is the first university in India to have all the six constitute Ayush colleges accredited by the National Accreditation Board of Hospital and Healthcare Providers (NABH). The facilities and awards by the university have attracted students not only from India but 50 countries across the world. Speaking of vibrant streams, our university have aced in this field. With 45 faculties under 21 streams, the university is really vibrant in all its terms. As we all have gathered here for an international conference on consumer law and practices. Every year, 15th March is celebrated as World Consumer Rights Day as a means of raising global awareness about consumer rights and needs. Celebrating the day is a chance to demand that rights of all the consumers are respected and protected, and to protect against market abuse and social injustice which undermine those rights. World Consumer Rights Day was inspired by President John F. Kennedy, who sent a special message to US Congress on 15 March 1962, in which he formally addressed the issue of consumer rights. He was the first world leader to do so. The consumer movement first marked that day in 1983 and now uses the day every year to mobilize action on important issues and campaigns. Now, I would like to introduce Dr. Akhil Sayyed, Director of Parul Institute of Law and Dean, Faculty of Law, Parul University. Sir has done his MSc in Physics, LLM in Business Law, and PhD in the area of Public-Private Partnership. He has 25 years of blended experience in academics and research before High Court of Gujarat. Sir, we are highly pleased to have you with us. I request you to address the gathering.
Thank you, Kakshita. Thank you very much. Honorable Professor Dilip Oke, sir, coordinator of the event, Ms. Ambika, and all the dear participants. I am very much happy to welcome you on behalf of Faculty of Law, as well as Parul Institute of Law as a director of the Institute and Dean Faculty of Law. I am delighted that today, continuing the tradition of Parul Institute of Law, we have organized this international conference, and Professor Oke has remained present, accepting our kind invitation. I especially welcome you, sir, on this digital platform, and I also request you to kindly visit our university. As you mentioned, Kakshita, about consumer rights and what the American President George Kennedy mentioned. But we shouldn't forget what Manusmriti says about the consumer protection, what Narada has mentioned, and what in different ayat of Quran has been mentioned about the consumer protection and ethics for the benefit of the consumers. Considering all this, I'm right now I'm traveling and I had just delivered a lecture on this in one of the university. I could see the very much relevance in our all these Hindu and Islamic mythological scripts, whatever they have stated, and what is United Nations has convened in 1985, 9th April, is not different from that. So one thing is fine that at international law and thereafter the Consumer Protection Act 1986 and then 2019, whatever the provisions are there. But at the same time, I request all the law students to connect this legal aspects with our culture, our cultural and religious literatures, and you will find that this consumer protection, how much it is important and how much it is pious. I'm sure that today, whatever the participants are there sharing their research articles and papers, I could just glance some of the abstract. Yes, people have done a variety of work into this, but I advise you to connect yourself with our own Indian literature and religious literature, so that the businessmen of today would have much more acceptance for all these legal provisions also. We don't have to we don't have to show them the yardstick for compelling them to obey the law. Rather, we have to influence them from their heart so that they become consumer sensitive. With this note, I once again congratulate all the participants. I thank Professor Uke for his kind presence and Ms. Ambika for this very good program. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. The time has arrived to introduce the chief guest of today's conference, Professor Dr. Dilip UK, Vice Chancellor of Maharashtra National Law University, Mumbai. Before joining MNLU, he served Pro-Vice Chancellor at SRTM University, Maharashtra, and Professor and Head of Department at Department of Law, Pune University. He has also served on various national bodies like UGC, NACC, UPSC, and various state public commissions. In 2019, he was conferred the Best Academician in Law category by the Indian National Bar Association, New Delhi. He is an erudite expert in jurisprudence, constitutional law, and administrative law, and his work in these fields are recognized in national and international fora. It's a blessing to have you, sir, amongst us. I request you to address the gathering with your experience and knowledge, sir.
Thank you. At the outset, I congratulate Parul University for organizing a conference, international conference on consumer law, Consumer Rights Day. I wish all a happy Consumers Rights Day. As all of us know well that all of us, each one of us, we are the consumers of several things. To look at the consumerism as a movement, as it was evolved over the period of years, and ultimately culminated then into the act. However, if we try to find out or trace or locate the roots of consumer rights, we can see that even in the old text like Arthashastra of Kautilya, which is considered as one of the oldest and very effective book which is on trade and commerce in ancient India, it was there. Consumer protection is one of the socio-economic activities which is to be administered by the government and the businesses with a major interest in consumer satisfaction. Consumer protection has been a neighborhood of the responsibilities of the rulers in India even before independence. But a consumer protection law which is purely focused on consumer protection, which was enacted only in the year 1986. The consumer movement that flourished within the early and middle of 20th century made the entire world concentrate on the formulation of vital consumer acts. United Nations guidelines were the idea for the formulation of consumer protection policies and measures in many developing countries, including India. In the year 1996, the Consumer Protection Act was enacted by the Indian Parliament, which took into account altogether the simplest acts for consumer protection among its counterparts. The Consumer Protection Act came into being in the month of March 1987. This act was acknowledged for its basic, rapid, reasonable, and compelling equity, and for less printed material and formal procedures. It was considered to supply more successful protection to consumers than any other comparable enactment existing within the world. Consumers form an integral part of the growth of a business and the economy. Consumer protection laws focus on controlling the standard of products and services and safeguarding the interest of the consumers by helping them to make informed decisions. Keeping in view the rapid change in the industry and commerce across the globe, the Consumer Protection Act 1996 has been amended with a new enactment with wider scope, which came into effect in 2020 along with the new rules and regulation. Consumer protection involves securing the rights and interests of the consumers in issues of accessibility, quality, amount, and cost of merchandise and enterprises. It advances the idea of significant worth for cash and improves the trust between the client and the maker or suppliers of administrations. There has been a rise within the mindfulness of consumer rights and utilization of arrangements within the Consumer Protection Act. There was a development within the sum of self-regulation in open and private segments. But over a period of time, buyers were gradually losing their interest within the redressal mechanism as the cures were definitely and the lawful apparatus was ineffectual. Consumer Protection Act is demonstrating a help to those who are mindful of it, but there is a duty to reinforce the office's benefit. In India, the buyers' movement found a transparent conception during the liberation movement of the 1940s when Mahatma Gandhi established the lead. Father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi has been considered as the most significant consumer advocate across the globe. As you all know, every year the 15th of March is observed as the World's Consumer Rights Day. This day was inspired by President John F. Kennedy, who sent a special message to US Congress on 15th of March 1962, in which he formally addressed the issues of consumer rights. He was the first world leader to do so. In India, the Department of Consumer Affairs of the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, and the Consumer Protection Authority governs consumer protection with the aid of the Consumer Protection Act and the rules and regulations made thereunder. Some of the rules and regulations made under the Consumer Protection Act include Consumer Protection E-commerce Rules 2020, Consumer Protection Mediation Regulations 2020, the Consumer Protection Consumer Dispute and Redressal Commissions Rules 2020, and the Consumer Protection General Rules 2020. The Consumer Protection Act aims at protecting and strengthening the rights of the consumers by establishing authority, the recent amendments, imposing strict liabilities and penalties on product manufacturers, electronic service providers, misleading advertisers, and by providing additional settlement of consumer disputes through mediation. Mediation which has been made as now mandatory, compulsory one. The latest consumer protection law in India now includes the e-commerce entities, and the Central Consumer Protection Authority has recently fined Naptol and ordered discontinuation of Sensodyne ads as misleading advertisements in India. It is expected that the new amendments will provide an effective relief to the consumers in the marketplace and prove that the consumer is the king. With this, I once again heartily congratulate the organizers for organizing such a wonderful conference and thank for inviting me and providing me an opportunity to share few thoughts with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I'll request Ms.
Krishna, there
Amrita
are a few
Batas.
questions.
Okay.
If any participants have any questions, you can raise it to sir by unmuting yourself. Krishna, I don't think so there are any questions. You can continue.
Okay, ma'am. Now I'll request Ms. Ambika Batas, faculty and co-convener of today's conference, to say the concluding remarks.
Thank you, Krishna. It gives me an immense pleasure to thank Dr. Dilip Uke sir for his esteemed presence at the conference. He has set the right tone for the further deliberations at this international conference, and by giving us the background of the Consumer Act and various contemporary issues that he has highlighted right now, like e-commerce issues. Thank you, sir, for your esteemed presence and for your valuable time that you have spared for us. And we look forward for your physical presence as well to the university. I also thank Professor Dr. Akhil sir for his constant support and guidance, and it was our pleasure to host the professors, research scholars, and students as a participant for this international conference. I thank all the faculty members who have helped me out for organizing this conference and all the resource persons who are present with us. Thank you for chairing the session. Thank you for being with us. And we hope we had a good deliberative international conference on this contemporary issues which are there with respect to the Consumer Act. Krishna, you can conclude. Dilip, so thank you for your presence. To all the participants, we would be starting the technical session by 2:10. We have sent across the link on email. You are requested to join sharp at 2:10, and the rules have already been mentioned to you. You will have 10 minutes for your presentation, and we'll have 2 resource persons who would be chairing the session. And please be on time. Thank you.